All right, today's parkour class, we're going to start by doing a warm up. We're going to do some jumping jacks, burpees, some leg lifts, work on your core. Then we'll work on our cartwheels. We'll get you through some splits. We'll do another leg exercise, and then we'll work on that back break fall that we did earlier in the week. All right, and last, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Today we're doing super burpees. Super burpees. It's going to be fun. Good luck.
All right, we're gonna start with 25 jumping jacks. Put your feet together, hands by your side. Let's try to stay together. Ready? 25 jumping jacks, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Now I want you to do 10 burpees, all right? If you remember, the burpee is where we put our hands down, kick our feet out, do a full push-up, jump your feet in, and then jump straight up in the air and count, all right? So we're gonna do the first 1 or 2 slow. I'll let you do the other 8 a little faster, all right? So put your hands up. We're gonna do 10 total. Ready? Go. Down, out, do a push-up. Once you do the push-up, bring your feet in, jump. That's 1. Say 1. Good. Hands down, out, do the push-up, in, jump and say 2. The rest we're gonna do a lot faster. Start from 3. Go. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. One more. All the way. 10. Now I want you to do 20 leg lifts. I want you to lay down your back. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. I want you to put your legs down. Take your hands and put them under you, just like this. You're going to put your head up just like this, feet together. Now, watch first. You're going to lift your legs straight up in the air. I don't want you to go too far. I want you to bring them back down and don't let them touch the ground. I mean, if they touch a little bit, it's okay, but you don't want to rest them or hit them. So keep your legs straight. I like to point my toes. We're going to do 20, all right? I want you to count every time you lift them up in the air. Starting, 20 of them starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, don't hit them. 6, keep your legs straight. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, don't hit them. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, keep your legs straight, we're almost there. 17, 18, 19, last one. 20, still don't hit them. And relax. All right, next we're going to work on some cartwheels. All right, when we work on cartwheels, we want to try to make sure that we stay on the same line, and we have a pattern. My pattern is hand, hand, foot, foot. You have to go in that order. When you think of a cartwheel, you have to think of it like what it is. When we put our legs out and our hands out, it's like the spokes on a wheel. Maybe think of an old wagon wheel, a big round wooden circle with the spokes in between. Right now we only have 4 spokes, 2 arms, 2 legs. But think about this. If I were a wheel and I start turning, everything would move at once, right? So everything would start to rotate around. So when you're doing a cartwheel, you have to do the same thing. So as I go here, if I start to lean, notice how as one hand goes down, the other hand comes up. If I keep going, the other hand comes down, the other foot comes up until I can go in a complete circle and I finish. So we want to put our hand, hand, foot, foot. That's the order. The important thing to remember on this is that when we first start, if you're not very good at this, just flipping yourself over in circles is going to be a little disorienting. It's going to be hard for you. You're going to wind up falling. You're not going to make it. You're not going to like it. And you're not going to practice it. So what I like to do is I put my hands up. I'm actually going to lean forward a little tiny bit, right? When I first started doing cartwheels, I had to do it this way. I had to go in a straight line. So if you can see the line that I have on the ground right here, we'll move over just a little bit, right? When I bring my hands, I'm actually going to bring my hands around, but my one hand goes on the line My other hand's gonna go to the line. I'm gonna swing my other leg around there to the line, and then my other leg goes too. So I go hand, foot, and I make it over here just like this. So my goal is to kind of go around. And it didn't look like a very good cartwheel because that's just the beginning stages of it. So we practice that a whole bunch of times. Once you're good and you can move on to the next step, then you can try to tighten your back up and go more over top. It takes a lot of upper body strength. Your arms need to be completely straight. A lot of people will do this with their arms bent. They'll wind up with their legs bent, even if they do make it, and it kind of looks low, and their knees bent, it looks like a squat at the end. That's a little too low, all right? So if your arms go straight and hold your arms up high, your body high, then your legs will wind up being higher, and it'll give you more time to get your feet on the ground. So we put our hands up high. If you want to lift your foot up and then lean forward to give yourself a little momentum, that's definitely a good idea. And then from here, you're gonna throw over 1, 2, 3, 4, straight over top, just like that. The last thing that I do want you to know and remember is that only 2 things are allowed to be on the ground at a time. Right now, I have 2 feet. My hands aren't allowed to be on the ground. If your first step is to put your hand on the ground too, you're not gonna be able to cartwheel. So if you have 3 things on the ground, you're no longer a cartwheel, all right? So you gotta think about it this. As I go to put my hand down, one hand lifts up in the air. So if you want to start that step first, go ahead that way. Practice putting your hand down. And as soon as you go to put your other hand down, same thing. Do you leave your foot on the ground with both your hands? No, because we can't have 3 things on the ground at once. We have to make sure that as my second hand comes down, everything else goes afterward. So it's hand, hand, foot, foot, just like that. And we wind up going in a straight line. I want you to practice that for 2 minutes. If you need to go outside, if you get permission, have supervision, do that. If you can do it inside, just make sure you're careful and make sure that you're responsible. Good luck. Splits, all right? We have 2 different types of split. There's the straddle split and there's the side split. All right, we're gonna start off with the straddle split. Straddle is when your legs go out as far as you can. For me, it's important to see if you can find some type of line. If you have a hardwood floor or even a carpet, or you can see some grain. I have my mats right here and I use the line all the time. What we wanna do is we wanna put our feet on the same line. If you don't have a line, it's okay. Just it's important to me that you try to keep your feet in alignment, all right? So what I do is I have people put their legs apart as far as you can, really, without going all the way down, right? A decent amount, farther than you want to go, all right? Then you're gonna take both of your hands and you're gonna support yourself on the ground, all right? This is the important step, putting your hands down and making sure your arms are tight. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna slowly push one of your feet out. You can keep going with the same foot, but I like to go back and forth so I have a little more control. And you're just gonna push your feet out as far as you can until you stop. Once you get to a point where you're going to stop, you don't have to go any farther. You just stay here just like this, right? Keep your legs straight. If you start to bend your knees, it's going to be bad for your knees. It's going to hurt your knees, right? So squeeze your legs tight, right? And then just push outward, right? We're going to hold this for about 10 seconds. If you can go a little farther, go ahead, go a little bit farther. And we're going to hold that for 10 seconds. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then gently sit down and relax. All right, bring your legs in. Make sure your legs are working. Make sure they're moving. Let's stand up again. All right, the next is the side split. All right, we can go either direction. You're going to find that one of your legs is more flexible than the other. So you can start off with the harder one, make yourself feel better at the end. You can start off with the easier one and work harder at the end once you get it. It's up to you. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to face one direction. I want you to put your knee down. Straight in front of that one, I want you to put your other leg out straight. Put your toes up and move your heel. It's important that you keep your knee here and you keep your foot here. Don't let this foot turn this way, even for part of this, because then your hips aren't going to go the right direction. So you want your foot to go here and everything is facing one direction. From here, I want you to slide your foot out in front of you until it just stops, right? You're not going to go down the full split yet unless you're ready. I want you to put your hands down, start with your fingertips and your palms, and you're going to hold yourself up, and then I want you to take the leg that's behind you, and I want you to move it away from you, all right? You can go back and forth between the two as far as you need until you can push your foot all the way out and lower yourself down, right? When you put your hands here, make sure you're supported. You don't want to be both on one side because you'll lean over, all right? You don't want to be both over here because you'll lean over. It's no good. You want to be over here, and you want to see if you can turn your whole entire body the same direction. So push over this way, turn all the way, look straight toward that wall, and now let's count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Bring yourself, push yourself up, bring your foot up, bend your knee, and make sure that you are safe. All right. Now let's switch and go to the other side. Turn your whole entire body toward the other wall. Keep your knee here, put your foot out in front. We're going to start by moving it until it stops, putting your hands down, moving a little farther if I can, and now taking the leg that's behind you, and you're going to stretch it back. You want to go as far as you can. Keeping your back up straight. Remember, don't turn one way, don't lean this way, don't lean this way. You want to be even in the middle, turn, and push straight down. We're going to hold it for 10 seconds. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then sit down and relax. Bring yourself in. Good. And go ahead and stand up. Now we're going to work on a muscle called your calves. We're going to do what are called calf raises. All right. Your feet are going to be together, and you're going to keep your legs straight, and you're going to push your whole entire body up using your calves. The calf is the muscle in the back of your leg here. That muscle is good for our jumping. It's good for agility. It's what we use for balance when we do jump in parkour. We land on a very specific small surface called a precision jump. When we do precision jumps, you need strong calves to be able to hold your balance up and adjust your balance as we move with momentum. So put your feet together. We're going to build these muscles. All right. You're going to push yourself up and then back down. I don't want you to go too fast. You shouldn't have a pattern where you just go up and down and your heels touch. What I want you to do is I want you to push fast up, but then control yourself on the way down. You want to go much slower on the way down. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. And you're going to push up. 1, 2, 3. You can do it with me. 4, 5, 6. If you go much faster than that, it's actually not working your muscle the way you need to. So you have to kind of explode upward and control on the way down. Just like that. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to do 1.5 minutes. All right. When I say go, I want you to start doing it and don't stop until the time's up. Ready? Go. Now we're going to work on a skill called a back break fall. All right, back break fall is where you fall over backwards. All right, when you fall backwards, you break your fall. It's not where you break your back. It's where we break our fall. So as we fall backwards, right, most people do what's called posting. Posting is when you use your arms to try to balance yourself as you fall, and then you actually change when you fall fast. Support, more structure as I land, so that I don't fall over. When we fall backwards, we want to do that. We actually want to absorb the impact, and then we want to rock to a more solid base. So the first thing we do after we tuck, all right, is sit. All right. So the first thing we do, tuck everything in. For now, just bring your hands in really close, tuck your knees in, and everything. As we go to sit down here, what I want you to do for now, for safety, I want you to cross your legs, all right? Later, when you're falling fast, you might not have time to cross your legs, but for now, I want us to be very safe, very careful, very controlled. So I do want you to cross your legs, right? This is gonna help allow you, your leg to move so you can sit down with not so much force. So bend your knees, and I want you just to sit down without using your hands. Once you sit down, right, I want you to, that's absorbing the impact. So if we fall, the first thing we always try to do, focus on, is sitting down, absorb the impact. And as soon as I land, you want to rock to a more solid base. You want to lay on your back in a rocking position. So we rock. Think of it like a rocking chair. When a rocking chair works, it's very smooth, it's very rounded. You rock, and then you come right back. So I'm going to turn sideways so you guys can see. So once we sit, I want you to rock backward, and then you're going to come up. If you keep your knees tucked, everything really in tight, your arms in tight, you keep your back strong, you should be able to rock. Stand right back up. All right, practice doing that for about 1 minute as quietly as possible. Even if you have to move really slow, be as quiet as possible. 1 minute, go. actually called super burpees. All right, the burpee challenge earlier this week wasn't enough. All right, we now have super burpees. So super burpees are a combination of the back break fall that we practiced a couple times this week. All right, with a leg raise type exercise that we can do, and then we stand up and do another burpee. So let me show you. All right, we start with our hands in front of us. We're gonna bend our knees. We're gonna go backward, and you're gonna kick your feet up in the air. You're gonna come back, jump up in the air, and immediately from there do another burpee. That's called a super burpee. All right, so one more time. You're gonna lay on your back. As you fall down, roll on your back, you're gonna kick your feet up in the air straight toward the ceiling. Your feet are gonna come down, you're gonna stand up and jump. So that's the first part, is all the way back, all the way up and jump. The second part is the actual burpee. All right, so I'm gonna show you one more time. Your hands go up, lay down, push up, jump. That's half. Do a push up. That's a full burpee. That's a super burpee. All right, so I wanna know how many super burpees you can do in 1 minute. Good luck.